Hello there and welcome to the program once again. Today we are going to learn about the much talked about US green cards. And you've heard about Kenyans who relocate to the US after winning green cards through a lottery program. And the question is, what happens to them thereafter? Now we have one who is ready to share his experience. Also on the show, a 67-year-old marathon granny who is ready to participate in the forthcoming Boston Marathon. Here are the highlights. Peterson Nakundi, a Kenyan teacher who moved to the US in 2010 through a green card and now a nurse in Dallas, shares his experience abroad.
When I landed here, if I had a ticket back home, I could have come back home.
Through his eyes, find out, is obtaining the US green card a guarantee for a better life? Also on the show, Joyce Nduku, a daring 67-year-old marathon granny, is now all set for the forthcoming Boston Marathon.
My first world marathon major was the Chicago Marathon, which I ran in the year 2008.
Straight into the first segment of our show, and our guest is Peterson Nakundi, a Kenyan teacher who relocated to the US 11 years ago. He has had a career change and is now a nurse based in Dallas, Texas. Peterson is a member of Safaricom Sacco, and this is his journey. He'll take us through and why he decided to join Safaricom Sacco all the way from abroad. A green card allows a non-US citizen to gain permanent residence in the United States. Many people from outside the United States want a green card because it would allow them to live and work lawfully anywhere in the US and qualify for US citizenship after 3 or 5 years. There are different types of green cards, including family-based green cards, employment-based green cards, humanitarian green cards, and lottery green cards. Under the US Green Card Lottery, officially known as Diversity Visa Lottery Program, the US government every year randomly selects up to 50,000 people from a pool of entries it receives from 6 geographical regions such as Africa, Asia, and Oceania. Peterson Nakundi is among the winners of the 2010 lottery, and that is how he ended up in the US. That was the first time he flew out of Kenya, and his destination was Dallas City in Texas. So then when you moved to the US, what happened? Did you get a job? Just take us through your journey now in the US.
So when I moved to the US, I carried all my credentials, thinking that I would come here and start my teaching profession. I carried everything and I was ready to come and teach. When I got here, the first time I got here, I thought I would land here and the following week I will go teach. I found that you have to wait for documentation, that's the green card, a social. You can't work without a social. That takes like a month. So I landed here, stayed in the house for a month, the documents came, started asking my host, are there schools around? So I can go ask for a job. They told me they don't recognize any paperwork from any country. They took me to a store, that's Kroger. In this store, when the clients come, they buy stuff, you put them in the bags for them, and then push them to their cars so they can go home. I did that for like the month of December, that is 2010 December. I stopped going there, then I looked for a security job. I find a Muindi here with a security company, NJ. I went there, I told the Muindi I want a job. So they gave me uniform, a black shirt with some patches. You know, that time I didn't have a car, I was using pass. I was hiding that uniform in my bag when I go to work because I was a teacher. Now I'm a security guard. I didn't feel comfortable. So I was not comfortable in that uniform in the bus. So I hide my uniform in the bus, in the bag. I go to work, I put my uniform on. In the morning, I take it off. I did that for like 2 years. And then I decided to upgrade. I looked for a small school here where they train you how to become a caregiver. Caregiver is like somebody who works in a hospital or a nursing home. Your work there is to help with activities of daily living, like you can give somebody a shower, you can feed somebody, you feed them, you wheel them, those who need to move from point A to point B and they cannot move. I went to that school for like a month. I graduated, got the job the following day. I started now working in an hospital. I did that for like 3 years. Then I got an opportunity to go to a nursing school. The nursing that I did is like the one that we have in Kenya, we call certificate.
Okay.
I did it, I graduated in 2015, and I enrolled in the registered nursing now.
Wow, from a teacher to a nurse.
From a teacher to a nurse.
Uh-huh.
Right?
And that's what you are doing now in a private hospital.
In a private hospital, yeah.
Okay.
Working night.
That is in Dallas.
Dallas.
Okay. So what are your day-to-day activities as a nurse?
As a nurse, I work nights. Go there by 6 o'clock, I get report. And normally I check blood sugar, give meds, and then monitor clients the whole night.
You are a member of Safaricom Sacco. Tell us, when did you join and what motivated you to join Safaricom Sacco? When did you join Safaricom Sacco and what motivated you to join the Sacco?
I joined the Safaricom Sacco in the year 2013. I was working with a colleague from Kenya who told me about Safaricom Sacco. He told me the benefits. So I decided to join. I filled the forms online. I sent them. They accepted them and they gave me account number. I started contributing. What motivated me is like they overruns at a very low interest rate. So I've been contributing from like 2013. In the year 2018, I came to visit in Kenya. I went to their offices. They told me they was selling some plots in Joska. I went there, I got my 3 plots without paying a penny. Just told them I need 3. I signed the papers for their own. They gave me the plots. When I came back, I started paying them. Within 3 months, they sent me a copy of my title deed.
As Safaricom Sacco marks its 20th anniversary, one of its key achievements is penetration of the diaspora.
Across the world, we have our members in the US, in the UK, the Middle East. Currently, we've of about 2,000 members in the diaspora.
The Sacco is now billed as a credible channel through which its members abroad are using to invest back home.
Using Safaricom Sacco, you can be able to use this channel to invest back home, participate in the AGMs in the decision making, contact and communicate with the Sacco using this channel to find how these products are doing. They're able to have auditable or trackable projects. I mean, to track the funds that they send home for various projects.
Back to Nakundi, and he says he is able to keep tabs with the activities of the Sacco thanks to technology.
With Safaricom Sacco, they respond immediately. Like I need a loan, I just go to WhatsApp, my WhatsApp. They send me the forms, I fill them, I send them immediately. Even when we do deposit, we use Wave from here. I use Wave, then I forward the receipt to somebody's WhatsApp, and it's updated immediately.
All our processes have been digitized. They are online. From our registration to accessing of loans and services. We have very robust payment channels. We have a USSD service. We have an app that is available to both Android phones and the Apple phones. And we have a very robust internet banking solution.
Do you receive dividends from the Sacco?
I receive dividends from the Sacco every year. With the dividends that I get, I support some kids to go to school. I pay school fees for the whole year for those kids.
And on green card, what do you tell people? When people hear green card, they think now that is the solution to all my problems. A green card is like a ticket to success. What do you say?
We used to hear that America is a brand of milk and honey. When I got the green card, I thought that all my problems were finished. When I landed here, if I had a ticket back home, I could have come back home. It was hard. They say you live in an American dream. In America, you don't sleep. How do you expect to dream when you are not sleeping? You never sleep. Too much work. Like when you are new, driving is hard. You know, in Kenya, you have your weekends off, you have your evenings off. In this country, you work.
That's the other side of the much talked about US green card. We now take a short break. When we return,
My first world marathon major was the Chicago Marathon, which I ran in the year 2008.
Joyce Ndoku, the 67-year-old marathon granny who is preparing to participate in the forthcoming Boston Marathon. Welcome back. Now imagine a 67-year-old granny who I can't beat in running. Yes, I'm talking about Joyce Ndoku, whose passion for running has seen her participate in many races across the world. And she's become a global model in running for physical fitness. Joyce has just flown to the US to prepare to participate in the forthcoming Boston Marathon. And before she traveled, I joined her for a 6-kilometer race in Kitengela. Joyce Ndoku has been running for the last 17 years. It is passion that drove her into this, to keep fit. And she started this at the age of 50, driven by the fear of catching arthritis. As we hit the road in Kitengela, I learned quite a lot from her, including the do's and don'ts when running and what she has achieved through this hobby. So again, even the clothes you put on matter a lot.
Oh yes, the clothes that at least you run with matters a lot. You need to wear something warm, but which is a dry fit, so that at least it doesn't absorb the sweat.
She is popularly known as the Marathon Granny. Ndoku is a woman on a mission. No obstacle will slow her down. Coincidentally, as she takes pride in having embarked on this mission at 50, I happen to be turning 50 soon. The Granny has participated in many races locally and internationally. Wow, within no time we complete our first lap.
Yeah. Wow! They've run 2 kilometers and 2.6. Yes, at a time of 29 minutes.
You mean 2.6 kilometers?
2.6 kilometers,
That's about
yes.
3 kilometers.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
So
So-
what should I eat?
Well,
How should I eat?
well, you just eat normal, the normal food, at least like myself, I hardly eat junk food because at least I cannot.
Junk food out.
Junk food, it has to be
Yeah.
out. Do you take sugar?
Yes, I take sugar.
Okay, sugar you have to, yes.
So
I would
you
advise you that to reduce your sugar
Reduce.
and take honey. You have to reduce your carbohydrates. You have to,
Nyama choma.
nyama choma you also have to reduce.
Yes.
See us when we see meat tunakula mpaka imalizike. If you go to our hospitals, 80% of the bed occupancy is lifestyle diseases, which is diabetes, which is diabetes, which is hypertension, and also a lot of cancers.
Exercises can cut that down.
Exercises at least will cut at least over there. It will cut. Before, we used to exercise a lot because because people used to walk.
People used to walk, go look for firewood, water. Nowadays we have border.
Yes, and let me tell you, the borders are going to create a menace in this country in terms of lifestyle change. Now, if you go up country today and walk along the road to the market, you will not see even people, women carrying sugarcane. You will not see people carrying maize.
The marathon granny says she lost friends when she ventured into running as their lifestyles no longer matched hers. It's not reducing as you age, you just look like you just began life.
Yeah, yes, well, actually, yeah, you become more energetic. And even at 67, you see your mental illness, they crop as even we age, yes. And you know very well, you start forgetting where you kept your car keys. You go, you look for them.
As much as she runs for physical fitness, Ndoku runs for charity too.
My first world marathon major, which was Chicago, I went and did it in 2008. 2019, I went to run the New York Marathon.
Now, who sponsors you?
Well, actually, most of these runs, at least we pay for ourselves. We sponsor ourselves because we know the joy of doing it, at least. As much as we are running for charity, the health benefits are much more.
Wow.
In 2019, I decided to run to run and raise money for a children's cancer hospital. And so there is one that is at the Moi Teaching Referral Hospital. In Eldoret, it's called Shoe for Africa Children's Hospital. Ran a 90-kilometer race in South Africa in 2018. I ran 90. The following year, I went and did 87. And so I raised about 1 million shillings. Coca-Cola heard about this lady, the marathon granny, who is going to venture and run a 90-kilometer. So they decided to support me.
After a short break, we begin our second lap, back to Ndoku's residence. We will do another 2.6 kilometers. And remember, unlike Ndoku, I've not been a regular runner, just once in a while. But from today, I dream to be like her. I almost give up, trailing Ndoku and panting really hard. Anyway, we complete the race, and we eventually walk to Ndoku's residence in Kitengela. Wow, you did not expect this. A pile of medals Tata has won in the last 17 years.
I have run with the First Lady, yes, and I'm happy at least about her initiative, yes, what she's doing. Okay. And she's showing that at least you can start running at any age, because she started running at the age of 50, the same age that I started running. Normally as runners, we go to do a race during Mashujaa Day, giving back to the society. Safaricom Marathon, I started running from 2005. This is Beyond Zero for the First Lady, which I've run since it started. Standard Chartered Marathon, it's a local race, and I have run it for the last 17 years. And this marathon gives us an and to get qualification for other marathons in the world, because it is recognized by IAAF. The region, at least, I have run Kilimanjaro Marathon, which I started running since 2010. In 2010, I went to South Africa and celebrated my 56th birthday by running 56 at 56.
That was quite symbolic.
I returned in 2019 in South Africa again, and I did a 90-kilometer marathon. This is one of the toughest marathon in the world, because it's supposed to test human endurance. And 2019, I ventured into my second world marathon major, which is the New York Marathon. Mwezi wa December, nilienda Seattle, and then Seattle, because I had just done a full marathon, I decided to do a half marathon. When I ran 2018, the Comrades Marathon, at halfway mark, which was 44 kilometers, 4,000 runners did not make it to the second half.
And you did?
And I did, of course. Yes, I did, because the medal is here. Yes.
As we settle for a seated interview, Ndoku shares more safety tips.
We don't encourage runners to go out with any gadget, and especially phone or even Bluetooth, because when you are running, you are listening to music. We discourage, because you don't know what is happening on your surrounding. So you can easily be attacked. You can easily be knocked by a vehicle. It is called the road ID to identify me, who I am, and then the next of kin. It has a number for my son, this one. It cannot have your number because you are not able to talk. It has numbers of other people. You put for your wife, you put for somebody else.
Nduku, who was born in Matungulu, Machakos County, is a retiree who worked for Kenya Medical Research Institute. The Machakos Girls alumnus retired from KEMRI in 2014 after working for 30 years.
After people retire, they say a lot of times, at least, and this is our African culture, at least we say, this is my time to eat, to sit and eat, because at least you have struggled to put your children through education, and yes, now you want to sit at home and eat. And since at that particular time you have a lot of help, you have a lot of people around you, you have manpower around you, you have your grandchildren, you have your daughter-in-laws, you have your sons-in-law, you have your sons, you have your daughters. A lot of times people say, I want to sit and eat, and that is the wrong time, at least, to sit and eat, because as we know, a lot of lifestyle diseases, they come in as you age, and especially when you hit 50, the lifestyle diseases, they come knocking at your door, and that is the time, at least, you need to wake up at least and take up exercise seriously.
At the time of this interview, Nduku was preparing for Chicago Marathon, which is slated for October 10th.
My dream, it is to run the 6 World Marathon Majors, which I have said it is Chicago, New York, and Boston. Those are in the US. Then in Europe, we have Berlin and we have London. Then the 6th one is the Tokyo. So my dream is to run the 6 World Marathon Majors. So far, I've run 2, which is Chicago and New York. So this year, I'm going to run my 3rd. And I'm running with very young, Kipchoge and Akina Kamorol, they are there, and all our runners, they are in the same marathon that at least a 67-year-old lady is going to run.
And this is how the marathon granny was nicknamed Tata.
Because I ran with young people like you, and they were not able, and I'm their mother, and some of them, of course, I'm almost their grandmother, so they were not able to call me Joyce Nduku. And so somebody who is a Teso came up and said, you know what, Tata in Teso is a grandma, and so from now we shall be calling you Tata. It has given me exposure, at least through running. At least daring abroad. I have run in Rwanda, Kigali, the Peace Marathon. I have run in South Africa, the Comrades. Yes, I've run in many countries. I'm going to dare abroad by running the Boston Marathon.
Wow, I know many of you are feeling challenged and don't know when to begin or how to begin, but just begin. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show, and on behalf of my production team at Chams Media, always a pleasure having your company, and see you again next time. Many thanks.